Today we are going to make some test of our new search coils. These coils are made without any plastic, so they only have some epoxy glue and some reinforcements, fiberglass reinforcements, and therefore they are quite light. They are quite small, and they are quite cheap actually. So, okay, about our test set. We have the Quasar ARM unit. Then we have 4 coins. First of all, first coin is Soviet 5 kopecks. This is quite a classic test target. Then there goes an old copper coin from the 1750. Yeah, 1750. And then we have a small coin, one kopeck from the Soviet times, which is made from copper. And the last one is a tiny piece of the aluminum foil. So we will emulate a very small coin by this piece of foil. Then you can see the ruler, and you can see another ruler for calibration, and you can see that the width of all of the wooden block is approximately 11 centimeters. So okay, let's begin the test. The first search coil will be 25 centimeter circular test coil with the frequency of 8,800 Hertz. Okay, let's give it a start. Let's run through the settings of the unit. So first of all, the barrier is 5. So this is quite a low barrier for the in-house tests, but we don't have a big amount of the noises here. In the forest, you can use barrier like 2 or 3, and you will have no noises. So okay, let's run through the settings. First of all, frequency is 8,720, and then okay, the current in the coil current is pretty average. It is 67 milliamps. We can a little bit increase it to 75, I would say. This is pretty field proven current. I only decrease this current in case I have a very difficult place, like a big amount of the iron or a difficult soil. Normally 75 is pretty normal current. Right, and the important parameters are here. The smooth is just by default is medium, and the filter we will make it slow. So this is normal setup for testing the depths of the coil. Normally I go on slow. Sometimes I switch to the normal, and on the very difficult places I switch to fast. I never use very slow, and I never use very fast. Okay, so let's keep it slow. Right, so that was basically the most important parameters. We can also go to the coil balance, and I see that the balance is incorrect. We can see that the actual balance of this coil is 20 millivolts and the 24 degrees, and the vectors go to the right, and this is a good coil, a very good reference coil with the very good parameters. Right, and yeah, we don't need compensator, which is in Quasar, but we don't need this in this case. The coil is very, very good. Right, let's go to the tests. So I took the Soviet 5 kopecks, and we can hear this very weak signal at 40, at 41 or 42. And when we come closer, it becomes more stable and more powerful. Okay, so this just make our tests a little bit more comfortable. Now this copper coin. It starts at around 35 centimeters. Right, the small Russian coin. Around 26 or 27 centimeters. And a tiny piece of the aluminum. Around 15 centimeters. Alright, let's move on to the next coil. Okay, we're back with the next coil, which is 23 centimeters per 32 centimeter elliptic coil. Right, so the first agate will be 5 kopecks from the Soviet times. Brass. Right. So it's around 42 centimeters. Right, copper coin, old one, 1750. Around 38 centimeters. Okay, the small Soviet coin, 1 kopeck, 60s. Around 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters. And the last one will be the small tiny piece of the foil, aluminum foil. Right, something about like 18, maybe 18 centimeters. And I forgot to tell that this coil is 13.5 kilohertz, so it's a little bit higher frequency. As we can see that the copper sensitivity is not really low, so it still sees big copper coins. Right, so let's move on. Right, and the last one in our list is the smallest coil, 22.5 centimeters. If I'm not mistaken, it's 10-inch diameter. So this coil is 15 kilohertz. All right. So the first one is 5 kopecks, Soviet times, brass. Not bad actually. Around 38 centimeters. The big copper coin. Around 35 centimeters. The small 1 kopeck, Soviet. $30. That's kind of interesting, and that's exactly the same depth we got with the bigger coil. But I think because of the frequency, we have the same range with this smaller coin, with the smaller coil. Right, and the last one is aluminum foil. Okay, as expected, because of the higher frequency and maybe because of the lower side of the coil, it takes a little bit better this coin than the other coils. So around 20, maybe 22 centimeters or 21 centimeter, the small piece of the aluminum foil. Okay, so actually I would really recommend this kind of coil as the universal. So normally people recommend 25 centimeters, and my opinion is that this coil, which is 22.5 centimeters, it is very well balanced. If you can see that it works very good with the deep coins, with the big deep coins, and have a good sensitivity for the smaller coins. And also I prefer these coils because they do not get blind when the soil is difficult. So what can happen if you take a big coil, because the soil is difficult and the response of the soil is very significant, some of the coils can become blind. So sometimes bigger coin can show smaller depths than the smaller coil.